Hello, everyone. This is Demetris Curry coming to you with Financially Fit Fridays. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me on this segment. We are here on Financially Fit Fridays talking about how to get your finances back in line, what's affecting your financials right now, and any tidbits and nuggets that we can give you to make you go to the next level or to help maneuver where things are going wrong. So I'm so excited that you guys are here with us today. We have an amazing guest with us. And before I go too far into that, for those people who are just joining us for the very, very first time, have never heard Financially Fit Fridays. We started Financially Fit Fridays a couple of years ago, and we wanted to give some good information on how to maneuver your financials in the areas of creating wealth, sustaining wealth, and protecting of your wealth. Well, on series, here we are again. This is the second season of Financially Fit Fridays, and now we're getting the opportunity to bring in even more information with amazing guests that are experts in their field. So today we are bringing Miss Ezara on. Before I go too far into Miss Ezara, let me tell you, she is a sweetheart. I absolutely love her. I met Ezara several years ago on Facebook, right? She was in the major medical space, and I had clients here at Inspired for Greatness that needed major medical. And because our area did not handle that part of insurance, I sought out looking for a major medical partner, and I started looking on Facebook. Well, I was inside of a forum with Facebook, and I said, hey, anybody does major medical that I can send a couple clients to? And guess what? We connected. And from that point forward, we have been friends. And I said, you know what? This is going to be a great opportunity to bring Miss Ezara on. So I'm excited that she agreed to be on here as a guest with me today. Oh my God, Miss Ezara, listen, we got some things to talk about, ma'am. We
Yes,
got some
ma'am.
things to talk about. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming on with us. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. Listen, let's talk. Let's just have girlfriend conversation, okay?
I mean, we've had a lot of these conversations, so yes, absolutely.
So this is the thing, right? So you have been in this space for quite a while,
Mhm.
in the major medical space, but this is not where you started. Where did you start your career?
Yeah, so, you know, I went through a couple different phases really trying to find myself, but my passion was always cooking and baking. So the first part of my career was I'm a classically trained pastry chef. So that's what I did for many years, and I ran restaurants, ran teams, and things like that. So that's what I did. Insurance was not my first love, but I think it's going to be my last love. That's for sure. So
I hear that.
yes,
I hear
that's why.
that. And you have a background of your parents was in insurance in some form, right?
My father was, yes, my father was big into annuities and the life side of it. Yes, he
So you
was.
sort of you got those seeds. You plant those seeds in your life.
I think so, yeah, he was I guess he was exceptional in math, and so I think, like, the whole money and math and all of those things kind of, make sense, but yeah, yeah, I think so.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, where are you in this space right now? I know that you offer quite a few services
Mhm,
in major medical, Medicare supplement,
mhm,
life and health insurance, annuities. But
mhm.
let's talk about what's going on right now in this economic climate. Can we start there? And
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
the the major medical industry has changed.
A lot. It's evolving.
And it's evolving, and it's affecting people's financials in a major way. I had a business partner who was telling me about some of the group life and the group major medical for some of the companies were changing their premiums and how it's affecting payrolls and things of that nature. So let me give you the floor. Tell me more about what's going on in these premiums.
So I think it's important to first understand that the insurance world is it's very complex. Our whole healthcare system is just very, very complex. And we're talking about hospital systems, insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, government programs. All of these things affect our health insurance and our health insurance costs. So, when we're looking at programs like Medicare and Medicaid, They influence the reimbursement rates and regulations. So that across the board is going to affect our healthcare costs. But we also have the increase in technology. We have
Mm,
higher utilization in our healthcare that most people don't realize. Like every time we go to the doctor, every time we go to the hospital, we're
mhm,
helping to unfortunately increase the cost of our healthcare system and we're putting a bit of a strain on it. And that's a rabbit hole that we can go down for a very long time. But what's recently happened is during COVID, there were two acts that came into play to help with economic stabilization. One was the American Rescue Plan
mhm,
Act, and the other one was the Inflation Reduction Act. So, what those two things did is they came together and they helped to lower the cost of our health insurance during the time of economic instability, right?
mhm,
So, for the under 65 market, we ended up seeing these plentiful subsidies that the government was giving us, meaning they were paying um, money towards our premiums, right? Well, at the end of 2025, those programs or those packages now have sunset. So now all of a sudden we are seeing these huge increases again in our premiums, our max out of pockets, all those things that affect our pocket ultimately have now increased. And we're seeing that um, it's just not affordable anymore for a lot of people.
mhm,
So those programs, they really help to bring people that either made too little or too much income to now be able to bank in on these subsidies. Well, now that's no longer. So people that are in the higher brackets of the federal poverty level, they don't get subsidies anymore. So what I saw this year with the enrollment period was that some people decided they just didn't want insurance anymore. And that in itself is a huge gamble. So you're better off having some coverage than having none at all.
right, right, and that's why I guess a lot of the supplemental insurance that we see, the requests that we get, is more so on, hey, how can I supplement some of the insurance that I no longer have in major medical, right?
Correct.
Like the short-term disability, like the critical illness and the chronic
Mhm,
illness and things of that nature.
mhm.
So in that being the case, with their premiums changing for them, you're talking about a bigger strain on their financials, which is why we decided to bring this particular subject matter to the forefront about why it's connected and how it's
Mhm.
connected. You know, when you have a set check amount,
Mhm.
right,
Right.
and you have fixed costs, your mortgage.
Oop, there
Okay,
you go.
a little flicker there. With your mortgage and with your car notes and of course other things that you have to pay, right? Your
Mhm,
utilities, et cetera, et cetera. So when those things happen and everything else is fluctuating, but your
mhm.
your income is staying the same,
Correct.
it creates a strain of a tight, what I like to look at as a rubber band strain that gets tighter and tighter and tighter, with
Mhm.
no opportunity for flex there, which means if you try to flex it too hard, what's going to happen? It breaks, right?
Correct.
Same case, same case. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, one of the things that we see is the medical insurance will be one of the first things that people will drop.
Mm,
That's one of the very first expenses that they'll drop because it is one of the most expensive, right? I think that people associate insurance with like going to the doctor. That's not really what insurance is for. Insurance is for the big events that can happen in our lives that are unforeseen. I had back in 2020, I had a big health event. I'm a diabetic and I ended up going into a diabetic coma. And I remember coming out of the coma, it was a couple days later, and I was like, how much is this going to cost me? I had insurance. I, I sold my own policy, but
mhm.
I literally was like, how much is this going to cost me? And my mother was like, Izara, it's okay. If it costs a couple $100,000, they've saved your life. And I was like, no, I'm not worth that. That's crazy. Like, But that's not the time to have those thoughts,
Right.
right? And that's when I was like, this is something for me that I wanna help people with.
And I'm laughing because, but I can literally see you doing that.
How much is this? I mean, I really was in a panic about it because
Mhm.
again, you're not firing in all cylinders at that
Right.
time. But yeah, that was a real concern for me. And from that point on, I said, that's really what I want to help people with. I want them to understand the importance of insurance. It's not for the little things. It's not for going to the doctor. We all can hopefully afford to go to a doctor's visit, but can we afford a big event that
Right.
happens?
Right, right. And let's shift there because that's
Mhm,
true. That is so true. When we're talking about, and some people say, "Oh, insurance is just crazy. I don't want no insurance," right? It's quite honestly, when I look at insurance, it's not for you specifically, it's for your family because
mhm,
they're the ones that sort of like get the bad end of the stick if something was to happen. Because they have to deal with either your loss or deal with, you're not being able to contribute towards the home income anymore, and things of that nature. So those things take really precedence of, your firsthand thought. It really think about how it's going to impact those around you, right?
mhm,
So let's talk about that. One of the things that I see the most is the inclusion of things like long-term care and Medicare supplement.
mhm,
The Medicare supplement is a big deal right now, and I know that's had some changes recently too. Correct?
mhm. Yeah, we're seeing across the board, even just in Medicare, because we have Medicare supplement. We also have the Medicare Advantage plans. We see a lot of on the Medicare Advantage side. We see plan design changes, benefits decreasing because a lot of those had plentiful additives like dental and vision, and um, those are all declining greatly. And on the supplement side, we're seeing that the costs of the supplements are increasing drastically
Hmm.
every year. On the low end, maybe 7%, but some carriers we're seeing hikes of 30% every year. So the not just the healthcare costs across the board, but it's really the premiums themselves that are now people are becoming a little bit more apprehensive, right? Because it's just becoming a lot more unaffordable for a lot of people. And like you said, our income isn't increasing, but what's going out is increasing. So,
So,
yep.
I'm the solution person, right? So,
Mhm. That's
so
right.
whenever we talk about problems, I'm like, so what is the solution here, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
how do we get around the impact of things that we can't control, like these major medical things? And one of the things I love to do is compare prices for our clients. Is get out
Correct.
there. I make my business partners and my carrier partners. I look and see who's going to do the best for the
Correct.
client, right? So the ability to do a comparison of what all is out there for them is one of the tactics that we use. What do you use when you're looking to give your client the best deal possible?
Same tactics. Always the same tactics. Everything is customized, or at least in what I do, everything is customized to their needs and their budget, right? So some people, we ask them, like, there might be a carrier whose costs haven't increased as much, and are you willing to possibly change doctors, or what are you willing to do? Or can we get you something that is $0 a month, but let's go ahead and bulk it up with other comprehensive coverage, like the hospital indemnity plans, the cancer, heart, stroke policies,
Right.
living benefits built into life insurance. So it then becomes more of a strategy, is how can we, keep your pockets full, but also give you the most comprehensive coverage. That's the biggest thing. Mhm.
Absolutely. It's going to be strategy for all day, every day,
All the
all
time.
day,
Yes,
every day. So customize it to the client.
absolutely.
Figure out what is it that they must need. Like if they're diabetic, there are certain things they have to have. If they have
Yes,
lupus, it's certain things that they have to have. If they're have had maybe a pacemaker, it's certain things they're going to have. So if you are, let's say we're shifting to the long term care, and we can put in some of those special needs
Mm-hmm.
into their life insurance. Life
Mm-hmm.
insurance actually allows you to have those long-term care benefits. And that's probably one of the most favorite features of life insurance that I have is the ability to have the long-term care, which includes critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness. And then in some other cases, you may have some other items like nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
and then others that also include additional things like dismemberment, things like that. So
It's
things that
huge.
you can add, which is huge, things that you can add into your life policy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
very.
that save them? Because a lot of those coverages are free with the life insurance, or very reasonably priced, really reasonably priced to have them add into your life insurance.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that most people don't realize is that they say in our lifetime, one of those three big events is going to happen: heart attack, stroke, or cancer. So if you have those built in, it's really a win for someone because now you have benefits while you're living, not just, life insurance was always seen as, it pays out when I pass. But now they have these wonderful benefits to them that you can have when you're living, if God forbid something was to happen, to give you that financial protection against those big medical expenses, right? Most people don't realize that 2/3 of bankruptcies in America are due to medical debt. So a huge portion
Wow.
of bankruptcies are due to medical debt. So, I mean, having a life insurance policy that has those benefits, it's huge. It really is huge. And unfortunately, we don't know when those events are going to happen in our lifetime. I was not expecting at 42 to go into a coma. It just happens, right? So it's super
Wow.
important to kind of plan for those things, unfortunately, because again, statistics show that at some point in our life, we're probably going to be affected by one of the three events.
Wow. That's something new. I didn't know there was 2/3. That is
Hmm.
crazy stats right there.
Yeah, yeah,
That
for
is crazy
bankruptcy.
stats right there.
Hmm.
So in the time frame, and you've been doing this portion of insurance 7, 8 years or so.
Hmm. Yeah, I really started to delve into the ACA, the marketplace, about 7 years ago. It became a passion of mine just by accident, really. I just saw a need for it. I didn't care for a lot of the short term medical plans, even though they are a great option, but they are options for people that are healthy. And I wanted to make sure that I had a well rounded brokerage that was able to offer something for everyone.
Mhm.
So that's when I really started to delve into the ACA and the subsidies and what does that mean for us and those types of things. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And now you're moving into something even more. You coming over to my side of the house.
Yes, 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 I am.
Look at you. You're trying to take my thunder. Now I'm messing with you.
Not at all. Not at all. I do
More,
not have the knowledge
more
that
the
you.
merrier. And actually, we're partners, so I'm
Yes,
teasing you on that. I'm teasing you on that. I'm glad
yes,
that
you
you're
are.
you're partnered with me. Thank you for all of your diligence. And who knew that meeting you on Facebook? How many years ago?
Yeah, maybe 5.
5 or 6 years
Yeah,
ago?
it's been a while. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just answered the call. That was it. And I remember I just personally messaged you and I was like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And that was it. That was all she wrote. Thick as thieves ever since.
But you know what's funny though? This is the funny part. Everyone that I've sent to you in major medical have given me rave reviews when they come back. It's like, oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much for connecting me with Ezara. She
Right.
she took care of my major medical. She got me a better premium. She got me my Medicare supplemented.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting some life insurance. I said, hey, hold on.
That's right. Sorry.
Listen.
Sorry.
Listen, that's okay. It's as long as it's going with you, I'm okay with it. So yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. I said, you know what, this is gonna be fantastic for her, just a casual conversation of anybody out there does this and that, and then all of a sudden, hey, 5 years later. So you are amazing. I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
that we got a chance to
So are you.
pull this together and so forth. But I'm interested in something that I learned about you some time ago.
Mm, mm, yeah.
we're talking about estate plans,
Mhm.
and we work together in that area. You are actually in the Florida area, and you also are one of our key advisors in the estate plan arena. Okay,
Mhm.
and but your family, like mine, has
Mhm.
their own story to tell. Would you like to share?
Sure. Yeah. Um, so my grandparents, my grandfather passed first. My grandmother became ill shortly after he passed, and she was in the process of getting a trust set up for everyone, for the grandkids specifically. Um, and unfortunately, she had kind of hid from us that she had cancer. And my grandmother unfortunately passed before the trust was ever funded. And that led to many years of battle amongst her children, my mother and my uncles. And yeah, the government was wanting a big lump sum of money. Again, my family had always paid their taxes and all these things all these years, but now upon death, now they wanted even more money. So not only did I'll say my mother, because that's who I really saw it impact the most, was that my mother not only was, grieving both of her parents passing in a year and a half's time of each other. And then you have family squabbles going on. But now new lawyers had to be hired to take care of this looming, you must pay us this much money. And it wasn't just a little bit of money, it was a substantial amount of money. So um, when I came to see you in Alabama and talking about the estate planning, it really hit me because I was like, wow, my family went through that. And I watched my mother for almost 10 years back and forth with lawyers. She never got to fully grieve. And so, not only on the financial part of the estate planning, I think so important and necessary, but the peace of mind that it will give to families and allow them to actually grieve their loved ones, because my mother never did. She never was able to do that for many, many years. And I see it now. Um, how she would just was never able to fully grieve their passing. And again, they passed away so in such a short amount of time from each other. Yeah, so that's why I've become passionate about that and learning more about the estate planning, because I saw it with my own family, right? Everything is a testimony. My health issues, a testimony for the health insurance, and then the estate planning, and just seeing with my own family, that if there would have been things put into place, then maybe the going back and forth, the arguing, the lawyers, all of these things wouldn't have been necessary. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah, it's you don't know what other people have gone through until you start having these casual conversations.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I know I had shared with you about our grandparents and them losing what they built so over the years. So it's important. Truly, it is. I don't know if you saw last time we had Mo on here. He was also on Financially Fit Fridays,
Mhm.
attorney Mo, and he gave his testimony about certain things that he's seen and that he's experienced. So it's amazing for us to be able to bring these stories and the importance to bring these stories to the forefront and say,
Mhm.
hey, you're not the only ones that's thinking about this.
Correct.
You're not the only ones that's trying to plan. There's easier ways to do it. Don't rack your brain on it. Get with an expert that can help you with these processes, and
Abs
plug into things that have been working for other people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's that time. It truly is that time. We're in a time frame where, like you were just saying earlier, premiums are changing. Health is getting more and more challenging, unfortunately.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that
Mhm.
we take care of ourselves because health is wealth. That's number
Mhm.
one, right?
Very much
But
so.
in the midst of all of that, make sure you're planning accordingly.
Absolutely. That's really what it comes down to. It's planning, it's strategy. It's I don't think that, and I'm not saying that we should sit back and think like, gloom and doom, but if we were to ever sit back and go, what would happen to me if I got $100,000, medical bill in? What would that do to my family? What would that do to me? If I have to go into the hospital, am I going to be sitting there going, "Oh my God, I am not worth $100,000 bill or $200,000 bill. I'm
Yes,
not
you
worth
are.
it." Right? So, like,
Look,
you shouldn't have
yes,
those.
you are. You're worth $1 million bill. All of us are.
Yeah, yeah,
We're worth
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. But those thoughts shouldn't have to. You should have peace of mind,
You
right?
shouldn't
That's
have it.
that's the whole point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like
Peace
it's
of
the peace of
mind.
mind factor. It's that
Yes,
because without the peace of mind, it causes additional stress.
correct.
And the additional stress causes more physical problems.
Yes, it's a
So,
cycle.
so I tell
Absolutely.
when I sit down with them, when we start talking about people's retirements and their life insurance and their estate plans and all the things that we work with, I ask them, I say, how long you been thinking about this before we get started?
Usually it's quite some time, right? They've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yes, yes. So if you tell me you've been thinking about this 3, 5, 10, 15 years, and you still
Mhm.
sitting on it, yeah, let's go on and get
Time.
this off your shoulders, baby. Let's go and get this off your shoulders. Take care of it and move on, and you can enjoy the rest of life, you know?
Right, exactly. That's exactly
Absolutely.
it. About
Yeah,
peace of mind. That's one of the greatest things that we can give to ourselves and to our families. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. You're amazing. You're absolutely
Aw,
amazing.
thanks,
I'm so
sweetie.
glad that you're working in this space with us. And, the long-term care benefits, when you were telling me about you go into a diabetic coma, I was like, ooh, does she have any long-term care benefits built into hers? Just my right brain automatically goes there.
Winging it, Dee. No, I mean, those are all things that I'm for myself even having to work into place. For a long time, I just took the time to heal my body. And now it's like I can finally think about those things, and because they're not comfortable conversations to have. They're not. Is I've had those conversations with my mother, like, I probably need to get a directive and this and that. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They just stall and they become frozen because they're not easy conversations to have.
Right.
Um, but they're necessary. They're so, so, so necessary because we don't ever know. If we had
And
a crystal ball and we could see, that would be one thing, but we don't.
I'm gonna tell you what I did. This is years ago. Years ago. I went home to visit my parents, and they had already, had a lot of their stuff together and everything, but they needed to refresh it. It was not properly funded. They needed everything refreshed because as things change, new home, new cars, you have to update your stuff. So I said, I'm going home for the holidays, and I'm going to take the documents with me.
Yep.
Look, my mama tell you, she's like, you do not got me notarized documents on Christmas. Yes, I do.
I know. Yeah.
Listen, I called one of my classmates and said, hey, can you come by my mom's house while I'm here in town? And she said, yeah, I can come notarize, right?
Yeah.
So funny, girl. So they went ahead and notarized the documents while I was there with her, right? And I said, listen, I'm going to need these documents done. We got to get these power
One
of attorneys
day.
together. Look, healthcare power of attorneys, financial power of attorneys. We, get the trust done. Get all. I said, let's get it all done and updated. Got my stepdad signed. And got her signed. I got everybody signed. I said, let's get this done. And I said, because here's the thing. I know you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Oh, no, my mom is listening.
Well,
Listen, this is the thing. I know she's not going anywhere. Knocking on wood. I know that.
right.
Here's the thing. But my thing is this. Okay, you may not be going anywhere, and you're going to be here for a long period of time.
Right.
But your family just needs to get it done. Just do a one time, get it together, and be over with.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. I think people, they just don't like to think about the unknown, but we
Yeah.
have to. We have to be able to plan because that's essentially what is going to help ourselves and our families in the long run is planning, having the strategy in place. And
Mm.
I see your mom's laughing. You'd be in big trouble after.
I'm being in big trouble after this, girl. I'm gonna be in big trouble. Big trouble. And I said, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead and I'll get a spanking later.
I
But
understand.
but all that to say, for just piggybacking off of what you said, that some people don't like to talk about the conversation of
Mhm.
taking care of business. They don't
Yeah,
even like to talk about what type of insurance they have. They don't want to talk about what type of life insurance they have. They're like, I'm not going anywhere. They don't want to talk about, long-term care. It's important to tell your families that you have a little bit to the side, or that you have some built-in benefits in case you have emergencies, right?
yeah,
So really
yeah,
important, really important. So wow.
absolutely.
Wow. So you shared so much with us today. Oh my goodness. I got to ask you one last question before we go.
Okay, okay.
If you can tell me about maybe a situation or maybe a case that just really stood out to you in your lifetime
Mhm,
that affected you in some way, maybe a client that went through something that you
mhm,
didn't have any idea was going to happen, but it ended up changing your perspective a little bit. Do you have a client like that, or a situation in life that you may have seen go through one of your
mhm.
clients?
Yeah, I have had several clients actually, who had big health events that called me and said, "Because of you, I had insurance. Because of you." And I'm like, "It really wasn't because of me. You actually sought me out. I
Mm,
just helped you. That's all that it was. I just gave you the tools." And that's what insurance is. Across the board, they're tools. They're safety nets for us. So as much as I appreciate those sentiments, it's not me. It's I'm just giving you the tools, right? It's not an easy industry to navigate. Insurance terms, they're confusing. I
mhm.
just give my knowledge. That's all that I do, and I let people make their own decisions from there. Um, so yeah, I think that's it. It's when I get the calls and you don't want to hear that something's happened to someone, but you do like to hear that in some way, shape, or form that what you did had a positive impact.
Right.
And that for me is what keeps me going every day. I mean, I really have some of the greatest clients ever. Maybe I'm biased, but they're wonderful people. And if I can help them in some way, shape, or form navigate a very complex system, then I'm happy to do that.
I
Yeah,
love
so
it. I love
that's
it.
really what it comes down to. Yeah.
So, Izara, how do people reach you? Where do they find you? Is there a page that they can go to, a media, website? Tell us how to be keep in contact with you.
Yeah, yeah, I do have my website, vitalhealthres.com. They can contact me via text message, my office, which I can give that information as well. But yeah, I'm on the socials. I'm on all the things. I should be hopefully easy to find. But yeah,
Yes. And so give that website one more time.
yep, it's vitalhealthres.com.
All
That's my
right. And if you have a particular phone number that you want to reference, you can, but we will list that inside the content as well.
okay.
So they'll be free to contact you regarding what we talked about today and
Yeah.
getting some help from you. So thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your knowledge and your story about your family. That was just so impactful.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being a wonderful mentor and just being a friend too. So I appreciate everything that you do.
I'm more of a friend than a mentor, but okay.
Don't sell yourself short. You know, use of knowledge. I've learned so much from you, especially in the life insurance world. That's your specialty, dear. So yeah, I've learned a lot from you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oh, wow. Guys, what an amazing, amazing interview with Missy Zara. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to bring her here. One of the things that we love to talk about is how do we get over some of the obstacles and through some of the challenges that we're having in our finances. Well, one of the things that we have a challenge in right now is those premiums, that health insurance premiums, those Medicare supplement premiums, even medical costs and copays and deductibles. So if you're looking for someone that can actually help you navigate those things and possibly find something better for you, make sure you call Izara. Make sure you call her. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to bring her here to talk about that. So what else? It's on to the next Financially Fit Friday. We're not finished, guys. We got so many more guests to bring on that are experts in their field. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we bring on the experts in their field that's been doing this for quite a while and can give you some great nuggets, some great tidbits, maybe shed some light on some areas that you weren't really aware of. But now it's connecting. Now it's connecting and you're starting to understand, hey, okay, now I know what that means. Now I know how to do that. Let's see if this is going to be a better strategy for me moving forward. And that's why we're here to help you with that. So I'm signing off. This is Demetris Curry, Generational Wealth Strategist. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with us. Courtesy to W2AV Talk for sponsoring this particular segment of Financially Fit Fridays. Talk to you soon. Have a great one.